Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's Darcy once again, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about something that I think is a really important topic that I don't think people really talk too much about openly. And I think that's a big problem because I don't think this issue would be as big of an issue if people would just open up and talk about it. And that is the dark thoughts that can plague us at times. Um, and I know that everybody's been through this for one degree or another, whether um, it's you're living with a mental health issue, and that's one of the things that you deal with is just like those dark thoughts, that negative self-talk. Other people, you might just experience it every once in a while. But either way, it can be really unnerving when you go through something like that. And a lot of people go through a lot of different doubts and they don't know what they should do or who they should talk to. And there's still a lot of misconceptions out there that if you go and you talk to a doctor about these things, you're going to be thrown into a mental hospital. And I'm going to put your minds at ease right now. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get put into a mental hospital these days? Trust me, I know for a fact. You don't have to worry about that. Most doctors, they're not looking to put you away. If anything, they just want to get to the not heart of the issue, because most GPs they don't deal with mental health, but they will usually refer you somewhere. But a lot of times when it comes to this, even if you are dealing with mental health issues, um, as long as these thoughts aren't pushing you in the direction to harm yourself or harm someone else, um, I have a different take on it, on what people should do when they're experiencing this. And this is personal experience. It's also what I was taught through cognitive behavioral therapy, and it was part of the schooling that I took as well. And a big part of that is really, as humans, we have a tendency that when we have emotions that come up, and even thoughts, like if you get these dark thoughts, um, we kind of just try and push it away, or pretend that they're not happening, or um, we kind of ignore the emotions that go along with that thought process. And it's really important that we actually are aware of what we're feeling at the same time that those thoughts are coming into our head. That's a big thing. Um, because especially adults, we actually lose touch over time with what emotions really are. And that has a lot to do with just stereotypes and suck it up buttercup. And I mean, as adults, we're expected to just take stuff and just accept it, um, which isn't actually a very healthy way to be. Um, but I think if, anyways, I'm kind of going all over the place again. But I think that if people can be more in touch with their emotions and their thoughts, um, and their true emotions and their true thoughts, not this just fluffy stuff that comes to the top, just at the surface. A lot of times you can get actually in control of these thoughts. You can actually prevent them from happening. And I mean, I'm not going to go into a whole video on how to do it because it's part of CBT and it can be kind of complicated. But I just want to give you some grounding techniques. And one of them is actually just sitting with your emotions and actually accepting that what they are. If you're feeling anger, it doesn't mean that you have to act angry, but acknowledge that that's the feeling that you're feeling. Acknowledge it, and maybe try and identify, if you don't know where it's coming from, try to identify what is making you feel that emotion. A lot of times, either our emotions lead our thoughts or our thoughts lead our emotions. So if, for some people like me, I could be having a perfectly good day, and for no reason at all, because of my illness, I can actually like get into a really bad mood really quick. Um, and that's where this technique has come really handy for me, especially being borderline personality disorder. Um, I can snap real fast from mood to mood. So I've learned to be able to kind of sit and identify, okay, why am I angry? What happened in the last 2 minutes or the whole day that I've kind of been just putting aside and not wanting to deal with, that's finally come to this surface, and I can't put it down. Like, I can't put it away now. And a lot of times that's what's happened, is I'm stressed out throughout the day. And then I just think I'm dealing with it, and then I go home and something stupid small happens, and all of a sudden I'm acting like a crazy woman. Um, but I've learned that if I can actually sit with those emotions and just accept them for what they are, they're just a feeling. Feelings are fleeting. They don't last forever. Even though we sometimes, especially if we're dealing with depression, we feel like it's constant, but in reality, even if it's only when you're asleep, there is going to be a point in time where your brain is not depressed. Um, Now, I'm not saying that if you're on medication that um, this won't work, because it will. Now, I am not saying by any means that anybody should go off their medication. Don't ever do that. I've talked about this in another video. Don't ever go on off medications without talking to your doctor first. Trust me. Um, but it's it's a really good technique that anybody who's done CBT, it's one of the techniques that you're taught, and it's to sit with your emotions, to accept them for what they are. Try and figure out what triggered that emotion, what triggered that negative thought. Um, if you find that these thoughts are very intrusive, that you're having a very hard time concentrating because of these thoughts, if these thoughts are making you think of harming yourself, if these thoughts are making you seriously think about harming someone else, those are the times you need to go and talk to someone. I know here in Alberta we have access 24/7. And I can't remember the number off the top of my head. I wish I did. But there's a lot of services out there where you can call them 24 hours a day and they will help you out. Okay. Almost every province in Canada, and I'm pretty sure I don't know about the States. I'm sorry, guys, if anybody's from the States, but like in Canada, I know that we have programs that are put in place for it. Does it mean that it's going to happen right away? No, sometimes there's waiting periods. But then that's where really trying to keep in control of your own emotions becomes really important. Okay. I know how that feeling is of it just feels like you can't control this negative self-talk that's going and all these dark thoughts and everything, but really you can. And the first part is don't ignore them. Don't try and push them away like they don't exist. But you also gotta be logical about it and really play the devil's advocate with yourself and be like, well, why am I thinking this way? Like, where's the actual proof that I deserve to be as harsh on myself as I am right now? Like, what did I do? But you need to actually provide facts. It can't just be, oh, well, I feel like these people don't like me, so I must be a loser. Well, no. Like, you have to be able to identify facts, okay? There's called things like facts, not emotions, facts. So, if someone tells you they don't like you, that is a fact. If someone doesn't answer your messages for a day and you just assume that they don't like you, that is not a fact, okay? And that is a part of really being in control of yourself and your emotions, is knowing what the actual facts are, okay? That's a big one. That's a big one. I'm going to tell you that right now. A lot of people aren't honest with themselves about the facts. And that's a trick that isn't that hard. It's literally being honest with yourself. You know when you're not being honest with yourself. We all do. If you're going through something like that where you're not being honest with yourself, you need to start facing yourself, okay? Face up to yourself. Be honest. The other thing, like I said, there's a lot of supports out there, okay? And I'm a support. Your peers can be your support, guys. Peers are anyone who's in your life, your family, your friends, somebody who's gone through something similar that you're going through. You'd be amazed how many people out there are living in their own personal nightmare, but they're just really good at hiding it. And I think if we all stopped trying to hide it and started talking about it, we'd all realize that we're all going through these things. And one of the best things about peer support is, like, when I used to teach RAP, the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, we did it in a group setting. And the best part about it is you got to learn from other people who were going through things the same way you are. And it gives you these fresh ideas of, oh, okay, I can actually learn to deal with my anxiety this way because this person didn't work for them. It just gives you those extra resources, okay? So your peers can be a great resource. Does that mean that you should go and talk to everyone at work about your personal issues? No. Know who you're talking to and know that you can trust them. That's a big thing, okay? Doesn't matter if it's friends, family. Make sure you can trust them before you start telling them about your mental health. I'm trying to cut the stigma out, but unfortunately, it's still pretty freaking strong out there. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Don't beat yourself up when you have dark thoughts, okay? Because we all have them. Trust me. Moms, dads, when you've thought, oh my God, I'm going to toss them out the window, we've all had that thought, okay? The part that you didn't follow through on it, that's all you got to concentrate on because that's the important part, okay? We all have moments where we're sick of the people in our lives, we're sick of ourselves, we're sick of our animals, we're sick of everything. Sit with yourself. Try and figure out why those emotions are coming up. And if you can't figure it out, talk to someone who might know. Like maybe you can talk to like someone who knows someone else, like knows the situation, might be able to give you a different view of it. But you got to be willing to, first off, be willing to hear other people out. Okay, and that's a tough one too. Sometimes we just want to go, yeah, whatever. But you actually have to hear them out. Okay, doesn't mean you have to accept what they're saying, but you want to at least hear them. Um, and as hard as it is, sit with your emotions, guys. If it's easier to just write it down, then write it down. I know that that's a scary thought because then it's like, oh my God, I actually have to read this thing now. Like, no, you don't. Just because you write something down doesn't mean you have to read it. If you want to put all the negative thoughts on a piece of paper and turn around, rip it up, and throw it in the garbage, do it, okay? Because you at least acknowledged them. By writing it down, you acknowledged the feelings you were having. And by tearing it up, you're walking past it, you're moving past. And that's really the act that you got to start practicing and getting into the habit of doing. When a dark thought comes, when that dark emotion comes, and you just want to hurt yourself, you just want to start cutting, you just want to go start drinking, you want to start going doing drugs, whatever that negative thought is that's sending you in a really bad area of your life, you need to start sitting with it. Understand it. Understand where it's coming from. And if you can't do it on your own, you need to be able to reach out. That's part of being an adult, that's part of being a human being, is knowing that we're in this as a community. I mean, that's really what human beings are. We are community animals. And that's just how it is. And there's a reason for that. Because humans have social interactions with each other. We are there for each other. That's just the nature of the beast. Does that mean everybody out there is going to want to hear your story and talk to you? No. Does it mean everybody out there is worthy of hearing your story? No. But you still need to practice it, okay? You still need to find that person that you can talk to. Now, I don't want anybody going and just, there's a thing called caregiver burnout, where if you lean on someone too much as they may be a fantastic person and just has all the strength in the world, at one point they're going to give out and they're not going to be able to hear your stories anymore because they just can't take it anymore. And that is a natural psychological thing that happens. But I don't want it to happen to you. So just remember, if you do find someone that you want to talk to your problems about, make sure that you're not inundating them with too much information all the time, because you don't want to burn your friend out, or whoever the peer is that's helping you. If you can't find a peer to talk to, guys, look around in your area. There's going to be resources that, like 24-hour hotlines that you can call. If you don't like the person that you're talking to, guess what? Hang up, call back. There'll be a different person. Very rarely is there only one person on call in a call center when it comes to like these 24-hour places, okay? And they are all trained. So I just want to put that out there. Yeah, I know that right now the world is a very dark place, and I know that a lot of us can't help but have dark, negative thoughts, and I need you guys to realize that you do have control. There's a lot in this world that you have absolutely no control over, but the one thing you do is yourself and how you react to things. That's all you have. So use those tools that you have within you and become the master of your own mind. And by doing that, you got to actually be willing to face what's going on and your true emotions. It's a hard thing to do, guys, but I really encourage you to do it, because you can take all the medication you want and you can go see all the doctors you want and psychiatrists and psychologists. Unless you're willing to do the hard work and actually put the time and effort in, it's never going to work. Trust me, I've been there, guys. I'm not only a cognitive behavioral therapist and a facilitator for mental health. I myself am a mental health, someone who lives with mental health. So I'm coming at it from both angles here, guys. But if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it. And yeah, if you could share this video, that'd be great. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there in your life who could really, really help to hear this video, okay? Anyways, you guys have a good night. Bye.